Woo!
Gail, you bring the bread, I'll bring the meat that goes in the sandwich today.
Okay.
Happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans out there. We appreciate you for all your service and the sacrifices you've made, and a lot to be grateful for, a lot to be blessed with our veterans today and every day. There's not just one day we celebrate our veterans, it's every day. It's sort of like Thanksgiving. Like, why are you thankful for one day when you could be thankful and should be and deserve to be thankful every day?
You know, speaking of veterans, I'll highlight one special veteran in my life, which is the father of my great friend, Karen Caston. And Karen had the privilege to take her dad on an honor flight just within the last month. And the Eagles, I'll get it wrong, but the Eagle Talons flight, he flew out, was honored at the Washington Capitol, and then flown back to a great reception. And, you know, I've known Ken for 40 years. So it was just a real true honor to witness the accolades given to the veterans who have served.
Yes. So Gail, today, episode 20, we've decided to tackle discovering the silence in our ever ongoing noisy world. That's what we're talking about today, because I know I've experienced some situations over the week. I know that you have taken the honorable liberty of traveling across the country, seeking your silence, but almost colliding into distractive noise.
Yes, very much so. And having awareness around it, I believe, helps us navigate through that quicker. And that's what we'll talk about today, how to navigate through the distractions that, and it's what we focus on. So, you know, I was distracted with my health, but I choose to focus on the healing. So I'm looking for opportunities to feel better every day instead of the opportunity, like, is this going to, like, all the what ifs? Is this going to affect this? Am I going to need to go into the hospital? So many friends have had, you know, oxygen they need to be on. And so, like, your mind can go crazy, distracted to the negative or distracted to the positive. Ooh, you know what? It's going to be 83 degrees out today and there's no clouds in the sky. I think I'll spend some quality time with some vitamin D today. And, you know, just knowing that distraction, and what can we do in that? It's in the silence, right? So if I'm listening to a really great book that you recommended right now, so I'll listen to my book, I'll listen to some music, but it'll be in the positive focus of where I'm at in the healing versus the what ifs that so many people get distracted with. So that's a little bit of my story.
And your story is to inspire, but to be the catalyst for giving others permission to find and discover their own silence. Like, I'm obsessed with people living their greatest life to the best of their potential, and whatever that means. So if we can just bring a little bit of clarity to what minimizing distraction is, finding clarity to it so that you can be more productive, you could be happier, you could be healthier. That's what we're choosing to do here today. So how do we quiet the distractions that are going on in our head? The truth is, the answers that we're seeking, they're not external. We're not going to seek external validation or answers or solutions. The answers that we have to our questions, they reside within us. Like, it's already within us. And it's challenging to believe that for a lot of people when there's a lot of noise happening in their world. And it's either external world, but I'm talking about specifically, primarily, the internal world. What's happening up here, the distraction, the noise, the beliefs, the thoughts that are creating these barriers, these obstacles. They're creating these bottlenecks for us to really have more do more and be more, or be more, do more and have more.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it that way. However, here's what I've also noticed. When you can find the silence and you have the discipline to create that silence, it creates so much clarity. Like there's so much more peace that evolves from just being in that silence. And sometimes it's not even about being silent in the silence. It's about being silent when there's noise. And that's something that I am every single day attempting to master, is even in noisy environments. Right now, outside my office door, I have two children. I have two children that are homeschooling right now. They're doing virtual learning because they're quarantined from school. I can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear like subtle sounds and noises and distractions and, yelling. But it's how am I choosing to move my attention and say, hey, all right, if there's really an emergency, I can be there for them. I could interrupt the podcast or whatever it is. But how do you choose to be in a place where you're present in your own life? Like that's what it is. We've always heard this, like follow your intuition. Have you heard that, Gail?
Yep. I call them my promptings.
Yeah. Promptings, follow your intuition, follow your promptings. Intuition, if you really think about it, it's just receiving. It's receiving information. It's receiving data. It's possibly signs that we're looking for that's going to give us clues to what our next step is, or maybe lay out a deeper in-depth plan to what the next step is. I had a situation, well, not say situation, but a conversation with one of our TM90 students. And I love the enthusiasm and the drive and the ambition that our transformation method participants, students, the clients, my friends, what they have and what they do. And they know they can come to me when there is trouble on the front. And I had someone reach out to me as of, I believe it was yesterday. Maybe it was the day before. Maybe it was Tuesday. I say, listen, in a text message, I'm feeling really overwhelmed right now. Actually, the word was overcommitted. I'm feeling overcommitted with sports, with life, with the kids. I don't know. I feel this is not the right time for me to really focus on my transformation because I have all these things going on. I can't get into the modules, to get into the content, to get into the learnings, the trainings, the coachings. And ultimately, it came down to, what are your thoughts on that? I was asked. I said, all right, well, if you're feeling overwhelmed, are you overwhelmed in distraction, or are you overwhelmed in opportunities? Because there's opportunities around us all. There's a distinction. Are you focused on the distractions in your life, or are you focused on the opportunities? Are you focused on what's missing in your life, or are you focused on what you're grateful for? So I responded back. I sent a video message and I just said, hey, I used an analogy, like a radio or a receiver analogy. I said, hey, if you're tuned into all the noise that's around you, then it's going to be hard to receive something that's coming from a different channel. Mm-hmm. So I know this. I know sports and our kids, they don't take up all of our day. They take maybe a large sum or a chunk of our day. I know I have two children and they're in sports. Every week I'm doing something with sports, if not every day. But it's, what are you choosing to do? But more importantly, who are you choosing to be? And the opportunities when you're not being distracted. And then when distraction does occur, and I'm not certainly by any means illustrating that children are a distraction, but it does pull away from what our priorities are. But our reasons, if they're strong enough, will never be stronger than our excuses, or they'll be stronger than our excuses will never be stronger than what our reasons for doing them are.
Well, and when I think about transformation and even my journey, I had less, let's just face it, I had less distractions. I started my physical journey during COVID, which everybody was home. But I made a decision. I made a choice to focus on bettering myself, getting stronger, healthier, and more fit. Where a lot of people focused on the negative, like they watched the news, they were distracted by their kids now being home, and
They
so
got sucked into it.
they got sucked into it, and that was the choices that they made. And when I think of now, yes, we do get distracted. We can get distracted by that, but by putting ourselves first, and I'm not saying this in a selfish manner, it's in a selfful manner, by putting ourselves first in 2% of our day, 30 minutes, give yourself 30 minutes of your day to focus on you. 2%, we all have 2%. And that could be a 15-minute walk and maybe a 15-minute meditation. It doesn't take much. But when you do it day after day after day, and you make that promise to yourself that I'm important, then you continue to feel important. You grow your self-confidence, you grow your self-esteem, because you have made a commitment to yourself first to be that person that you desire to be. And let me just tell you, the distractions, when it's hard or complicated, or you're not feeling like taking that walk, or you're not feeling like doing a meditation, when the distraction comes, you're going to be more likely pulled that way because you have not made a commitment to yourself first. So I just want to inspire and encourage you, make a commitment to you first in one small thing. Pick 2% of your day. Pick 30 minutes a day to be true to yourself and see what happens.
If you're not doing anything right now, like if you're not giving yourself any self-care, any mindfulness, any time to yourself, then start with 5 minutes. Start with 10 minutes. One of the things I responded with was, and here's what most people appreciate about the program, is that it doesn't take a lot of time to start leaning into or continue leaning into the better, healthier version of yourself through transformation. I break it down where the module content's no more than 15 minutes each week, intentionally, so that it's not consuming your time. It's simple to do. Complexity is the enemy of execution. So if it became complex and very challenging, then yeah, we wouldn't do it. But to your point on self-care, this is really important to understand. And people are going to be asking this, well, how, Steve and Gail, how do I find the silence? How do I find it? Well, I sort of alluded to, it's already within you. It's already there. You just don't have awareness to it. Maybe this is the conversation that brings awareness to it. Part of our intention, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ways to find the silence and be in the silence. First of which is to create space. I have a new new laptop, courtesy and thanks to some important people in my life. And the reason was because my previous Mac laptop was loaded with data. It was compact. There's files everywhere. The memory is getting full. That's how we're living our life, is we're living our life with this full computer. This hardware system is just jam-packed of stuff. But where do we start releasing that? Where do we start getting rid of files and deleting them and scratching the record and having these pattern interrupts so we can find space? It's like an artist. An artist doesn't start a canvas or start a painting with a canvas that has all this stuff on it. It starts with a clean canvas. And then from there, you can create this mastery project. And you can color and draw. We're starting with a very busy, noisy canvas when we desire to make some change or make improvements in our life.
And it's a lot harder to erase the colors that are already drawn on that canvas, right, Steve?
It's a lot harder. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah. But the other point I want to make too is if you're attempting to find the silence, it just requires discipline. And discipline is one of the highest forms of self-care that you can provide yourself. Being
disciplined. Had a meme pop into my head. I might post that later.
But think about that. Discipline is one of the highest forms of self-care. Everybody's trying to find the things to do. Like, well, my self-care is going to get my nails done. My self-care is going to the gym. My self-care is eating more nutritiously sound. What if it wasn't what you're doing? It's who you're being from a place of just being disciplined. Because when you're disciplined, you can accomplish anything. But self-care now, let's look at that. Self-care is giving the world the best of you instead of whatever's left of you at the end of the day from all the noise, all the distraction. Could you imagine if you stopped giving your power away from the moment you wake up and you open your eyes and you just allow your cell phone to start taking over whatever it is, text messages and emails and social media? You're giving your power away from the first second you open your eyes in the morning. But instead, what if a self-care could be in terms of, as you have as a power promise right now, Gail, an ancillary power promise is you do not look you're not distracted from your phone for the first 30 minutes, the first 2% of your day, waking up, no distractions. That's a form.
And it's been hard. Let me just tell you that when you make a commitment to yourself like that and you put it on imprint, on writing, you hold yourself accountable to it, doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It means I have to be more disciplined. And because the first thing, maybe it's the being sick for 3 weeks. If I'm being honest, which I am honest, it goes back farther than that. But it was just a habit to pick up my phone and look at the notifications. And so making that a promise to myself doesn't make it easy to not do. It just makes me aware of the commitment I made. And so I push it away. It's like, no, I look at my watch and I say, okay, at that time you have permission to look at your phone. And so I just wanted to reiterate, Steve, from that. It's just because you say you're going to do it and then it seems like it's an easy task. Breaking habits that you create for yourself take time.
Right. Anything relatively speaking now is easy to do once, easy to do twice, 3 times. But when you start compiling it and stacking it, like going to the gym, for example, anybody can go to the gym and be motivated for one day. Like, all right, I'm going to go to the gym today because I'm motivated to do it. So you go to the gym and you have a great workout. You're sore, you're tired, you're weak. You're like, oh, I wish I didn't wait so long to start working out, but you did it. And you feel amazing doing it. You feel inspired to do it again the next day until the next day comes. And then you make a decision. Am I motivated to do it or am I not motivated to do it? 3 words. And I use these words pretty often. Purpose over pleasure. Find the purpose. The purpose will be being intentionally silent over the pleasure of distraction. Gail, would you agree that distraction is so seductive?
It is. It takes you right away. This morning, I'm getting ready for the podcast and I noticed my necklace was gone. And I remembered that last night at the hospital, I had to take it off to get a chest x-ray and I handed it to Steve. Well, I didn't think about it until getting ready. So I was immediately distracted. I'm like looking in his pants pocket, what shorts did he wear? Where did he put my necklace? And my mind, I got a little nervous because it's something I wear every day and it has a few little charms on it that are very meaningful to me. And then I had got this remembrance. Remember you brought an extra one with you just in case something happened to your chain. And so I know there's a replacement. It helped to silence that strong emotion. I'm texting Steve, he's down playing pickleball. Hey, do you remember what you did with my necklace? And he hasn't answered me back. He must be having fun playing pickleball. But, for a moment, and I knew we were going to be talking about distraction. I go, this is exactly what distraction's all about. It's like that one thought, where's my necklace? Led me for 7 minutes off on a wild goose chase to see if I could find it.
Hijacked.
My time getting ready for the podcast was hijacked. So I said, okay, Gail, what are you going to feel great about wearing for the podcast? So I chose my quad tank top. I'm like, I'm putting some power on today. It's a nice day. It's like, so I created my momentum shift back to what was important for me this morning. I will find my necklace or I won't. I like wherever it is where it is. And I'll either get back the original or I'll put on my second one, but I know it's there. And so, yes, I was hijacked for a few moments this morning, and I'm so grateful for the mindset I've created within me that helps me to draw my attention back to what is important to me. So there's a story.
I'm going to share something because I think it's sort of neat. When you said either you can or you can't, like either, you're right or you're right type of deal. Well, if you say so. My kids are at home, I told you, and they're on Zoom. And I can hear what's happening because I'm getting them prepared, getting them into the Zoom room. And there's introductions in the classroom for the first 3 or 4 minutes. And they do this announcement and they sort of tell you what the day is about. And then at the end of the announcement, I've come to find out every day they say, quote, have a good day or not. The choice is yours.
Oh.
I thought that was pretty cool. Like that's just a really nice message to convey to my kids who are in 3rd grade, 4th grade, and it goes up to 5th grade in their school. So it's just,
well, you need to implement that. You need to share with them, hey, have a great day or not. It's your choice.
Yeah, well, that's what I say, but I'm just quoting what they say. Hey, listen, I'll take that over nothing or something that could be very, demoralizing. But there's one, let me share one more thing, then we'll conclude our conversation here. But there's one thing that I want to share. It's as far as a question or a series of questions that I shared with our friend that was in our Promise Keeper community in our TM90. And I said, simply asked her to ask herself, is your life working? So ask yourself that, is your life working right now? And most people are gonna be like, no, I know things can be better. I want improvement. I want expansion. I want to evolve my life. I know there's greater things for me. You choose to be distracted from that something that is not working in your life. So the question I have then is, how long can you distract yourself if something in your life is not working? How long are you choosing to distract yourself? Where can you find space to have less distraction? I'm not saying you can't get on your phone and check Instagram or Facebook or TikTok but avoid the rabbit hole. You ever got into a car, Gail, and you sat in the car and you just went to your destination? Maybe it was 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And then you got to your destination. You're like, how the heck did I get here? Like, I don't remember. It's so habitual. I don't how did I get to my destination? I don't even remember the drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's no different than the distractions in our life through our phone, through our computer, through our emails. So just be mindful of that. Be very conscious of the travel time that you have from one destination to another. So this is very powerful. Silence is very powerful when you have it and you can use it to your advantage and as a benefit. And when you can practice that and master it, you will accomplish so much more, not because you're doing more, but because you're being more.
And in the silence, ask yourself the quality questions and allow yourself to answer those that take you to the path of where you truly desire to be in life.
Amen. Amen. All right. Well, Gail, I'm glad that you had strong armed that distraction, got into this conversation with me and with those that are viewing. And let's make it a great day. Or not.
Or not. It's our
The choice is yours. But
Awesome.
remember, you'll never have this day again. So you best make it count.
Let's go.
Go.